Is there a character you like, but tier lists say they're not the best? Regardless of how good a unit is, with proper team building in mind, you will always have the edge in your encounters. Before we get to that, we'll need to understand the basics of combat. Before a battle even begins, look below the enemy's name at the top of the screen. Here, it'll show the weaknesses they have. Enemies tend to have anywhere from 2 to 3 elements they are weak to. When using a technique the enemy is weak to initiate combat with, it will begin the battle with a toughness bar damaged. Enemies have both a health and toughness bar. While the toughness bar is full, enemies take less damage from elements they're not weak to. Attacking will also only damage the health bar. Attacking with an element they're weak to will damage both the health and toughness bar. The damage dealt will be higher compared to a non-effective element. When the toughness bar is depleted entirely, the enemy will become broken. This causes the enemy to lose their next action, take increased damage from the attack, and cause them to suffer a DOT of the element that broke them. Enemies take more damage in the broken state. The toughness bar will regenerate on the enemy's following turn. Now that we understand the basics of combat, we can build teams that will allow any character to shine. You will have 4 slots to work with. Ideally, you will want a main DPS, sub-DPS, support, and a healer. The main DPS is a character that usually does most of their damage through skills. To use skills consistently, you'll need to have your other party members use basic attacks to generate skill points. Back to the main DPS, their element doesn't need to match an enemy's weakness, but if it does, that's all the better. A sub-DPS character should be able to break the enemy's toughness bar while dealing some damage. Whether it be through basic attacks, skills, or ultimate, they want to enable the main DPS to deal more damage. A support character should either be another character that helps break the toughness bar, or provides buffs or debuffs to help take down enemies once the toughness bar is depleted. A healer doesn't need to be any element in particular, since healing is meant to do damage. However, if they can break enemies, that's good too. Ultimately, what it comes down to is breaking enemies and unleashing all the damage you can while they're down. One team alone won't be suited for every battle the game throws at you, so have at least one of every character of every element raised somewhat. Okay, now that I've gone over the basics, I'll make a team with the principles I discussed. I'll be using the enemy I used earlier to team build against. I adore Chinkei's kit and design. She's a character whose damage output varies, but I enjoy the chance involved. She'll be my main DPS for this team comp. Luckily, the enemy in this example is weak to quantum damage, making Chinkei a perfect candidate for this team. For a sub-DPS, the Physical Trailblazer is a solid option. They provide AoE physical damage, which will shred through the enemy's toughness bar and any allies they might summon. A great support for this battle would be Pella. She deals ice damage, which this enemy is weak to, and her ultimate provides the exposed debuff, lowering the defense of enemies. The only healer we have easy access to is Natasha. She's an amazing unit that can remove debuffs on allies and heal when needed. Yet again, she can also break the toughness of the enemy you'll be facing. What's your favorite character in Honkai Star Rail? Let me know down below, and thanks for watching.